Hey guys, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada, joined by the one and only Benny Blanco. Thank you so much for taking the time. Okay, first of all, every clip that I've seen of like your house is just there's a lot of plants. Do you still have a lot of plants? Are you a big plant guy?
There are lots of plants. We're actually the things that most people see. That's actually it's my studio. So like that. Yes, there are lots of plants everywhere. There's literally a plant right there. Yeah, I keep my plants healthy. They're living. They're playing classical music.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I feel like, yeah. How's your plant collection? Has it grown since COVID? Have you been able to just like maintain it better because you're just home?
I I think I'm turning into like cat lady, but for plants. There's just like everywhere you look, there's just like plants.
Cool. Okay, I want to talk about Lonely. I have a lot of questions. So first of all, how
Talk
did
to me.
you get connected with FINNEAS? How did that come about?
Phineas, I actually worked with Billie when she was like, how old's Billie now?
18.
So when she was like 14, maybe, I went to her first show too. Like, so I worked with them really early on. Me and Phineas, Phineas was a fan of mine. I was instantly a fan of his. We just like always talked about like making music, and we would always write little songs and do little things. And one day we were like, let's try something with Justin. We actually wrote another song first, and we were like just about to leave, and then we like just started writing Lonely, and it just kind of like fell out. We did it like right before quarantine, and then when Justin was recording, he was actually quarantined in Canada.
Oh yeah.
So he recorded it from Canada. So it's like tons of FaceTiming, and I always wanted to have this type of song with Phineas because like he's like so good at doing like the ballads. And I also always wanted to have like a real ballad with Justin. Like we kind of had one with Love Yourself, but this is like a real ballad. So it was really cool for me.
Does it seem natural then to do it based on like his childhood and things to get those emotions out, to get that ballad?
Yeah, and it was like, look, it's a hard song. Justin told me like even listening to it, like his own voice on it, it's hard to get through sometimes. And he was so nervous about putting this song out because people hadn't heard him like this before. And you think like everyone thinks they know Justin because his life is so in the public eye. So if he makes a mistake, everybody in the world knows about it. And it's like if he does something good, everyone in the world knows about it. And it's just like I think it was important for him to put this song out because I think it shows people that like, no matter who you are, like we all got shit going on, man. We're all crazy. We all have problems. And I think especially for his fans, it's like a sigh of relief for someone to be like, oh, he's got the same thing I have. We have the same issues. This person I look up to so much, we're sharing the same brain. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? That connection, that relatability.
Exactly.
Yeah, crazy. And you've worked with Justin a bunch over the years. How have you personally seen him grow as an artist?
When I first met him, he was probably 14 or 15. So he's like a kid. Like, what were we like when we were 14 or 15? And then, watching him now, it's just so crazy because I feel like he's like finally just settling in to like exactly who he is, like as an adult. And he's like, okay, this is me. I'm putting out Holy. This is the type of song I want to do. I'm doing Lonely. Like and he's just being completely honest. And he always was honest, but this is like, just like, this is me. Like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, totally. And you guys did an incredible performance on SNL. That was unbelievable. Is it kind of like a full circle moment for you to like go to New York and do something like SNL when that's really where you got your start?
Yeah. I actually played one time on SNL in like 2009. I was like playing keyboards and stuff, and to like go back there and I go with artists all the time that I make songs for, but like to actually go back, honestly, this past like few years as a whole has been just like a mind for me. It's just been so crazy. It's been like a whirlwind, and I'm just like, I can't believe I do this now. Like, I can't believe I'm like an artist now. It's weird. It's getting used to it still.
I was gonna say that still has to like hit you because you've been doing it for so long now, and like hit up.
I know. It's so weird.
What hits you?
It is.
Like, what is the hardest thing to just like reflect on or digest?
I think it's like I spent my whole life being behind the scenes, and then like now to be, it made me understand artists so much more, because I always used to be like, why won't the artist do this song? Why won't the artist do this? Why? And like now that I am the artist, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you have to, this song is like you have to live with this song. If you mess up, it's on you. It's not on the producer or the songwriter. And it's a different type of responsibility that I didn't understand before becoming an artist, you know?
Mm.
And it's just weird. It's weird, like to go outside and like people know who you are and stuff. It's weird.
Yeah. Does that ever get old?
I don't like it. I want to be the center of attention with my friends, not with like everyone in the world.
Yeah, like getting swarmed at parties and things.
Yeah, but things could be way worse, you know?
It's true. That's so true. I've read that you love to just work with your friends, that you're not one to like jump and work with just like a bunch of random people. But what happens when there's like a big artist that approaches you and wants to work with you, but it's not somebody that you're necessarily close with?
Like usually we just become friends, like before we even work. Like when I first started working with Ed Sheeran, we got put on email. We hung out the first night, like, and just like went to a bar and got like really drunk and like chilled. And we did that like a few times before we even tried to work. Like it was like multiple trips before we even worked. And then it just makes it better. And we became really close. We'd written a few songs that were on in one of his albums. Like we wrote like Don't and that type of stuff. And then we got really close after that. I remember he like called me one time. He like had broken up with a girlfriend and we weren't even that close yet. And then after that, we just became like, I went on tour with him for a year or two and we like made an album. Like, so I feel like the music comes so much easier when you're actually friends with someone and you want to actually hang around with the person. Like anyone who I make songs with, I would invite over to my house for dinner, you know, and have many times.
Yeah, I feel like that's important, right? To like, so that you guys can both open up to each other too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it makes it easier.
Okay, I know that you've probably talked about this immensely, but this is when I first learned this about you, like years ago. I thought this was just so fascinating that you're so
I already know.
That you're.
I knew you were gonna say.
I know. Sorry, I have to only because I have questions about it, and because of Ed Sheeran. So you guys like took a cruise ship together across the ocean because you didn't want to fly, right?
We did. I really don't like, occasionally I'll fly, but it's like gotta be like, I gotta have no other choice.
Right. So like SNL, did you have to fly?
I didn't fly. And on the way back, I was like on my way to the airport and I was like, I can't do it.
Really?
So we drove. Yeah.
You drove. How long did that take? That's crazy.
We did it really fast. We did it. Usually I like make a fun trip out of it. And like, we like stop along all the ways, but like with COVID and stuff, you can't really stop or do anything. So we just like.
Yeah. Has COVID almost been like a pro because like the fact that nobody's traveling as much, especially in your industry, is that beneficial for you now?
I wouldn't call it a pro because it's like a worldwide disaster. I guess maybe it's made it a little easier, but it's like, no, it's crazy. This year has been so wild. It's been such a weird year, you know? And when we did get to put out music, I was like, okay. Like, so I feel like I needed it as much as everybody else. Like I want to hear a new song and I want to be stoked about it. And I'm really stoked about this one. So I was like, okay. At least there's one good thing so far. Like it's been a lot of.
I feel like music is the thing that like really brings people together. So it's so great that there's like people like you that can be that connector and make those connections for us. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank everyone who listens to it too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just as much of a fan as everyone else. Like when we were like doing SNL and stuff and like Justin was saying like so well, I was like, oh my God, I was like, don't look up. I was like, don't mess up, don't look up. I get just as excited. Like, I'm so excited by music. I get the little butterflies when I hear something good. And
that's awesome. I love that so much. You asked Halsey a question in a video where you interviewed her, and I love the question so much. So I'm going to flip it and I'm going to ask you this question. So if there is any artist that you could be in a cage wrestling match with right now, who would it be?
Oh my God. Any artist that I could be in a cage wrestling match with. I want it to be someone like, I feel like maybe Post Malone, because he's like so nice, and like he'd probably just like set up like a beer pong table like in the cage wrestling thing, and we would just like be all like soaking wet and just like play beer pong and like hang out. Like I don't want someone who's gonna like beat me up. Probably him. He's so sweet. He would never harm a soul.
Yeah, that's so sweet. That's a good answer. I like that a lot. Can we expect music from you and Post Malone? I'm like shocked that I don't see you guys together more.
No, I never even asked him. We were just friends, you know. I don't know. That's a good idea.
There you go. Get on it.
I never even thought of that.
Awesome. Betty, thank you so much for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.